we begin with the striking growth in county dispatch calls. Thank you for joining us. I'm Samantha Crawford. Emergency dispatch calls are going up every year in Lancaster County, and that means an increased level of danger for all first responders. We turn to News 11's Jumbophone live in the studio for more on this story. John.
Sam, both law enforcement and EMS dispatch numbers increased last year, which put them at a decade high. I spoke with first responders today, and they said it's due to a mixture of social and technological factors.
The Lancaster County Emergency Report shows that 2017 had some of the highest police and EMS calls in over a decade. The Ephrata Police Department was the fourth busiest law enforcement agency in the county last year, something Chief Bill Harvey says doesn't necessarily reflect the people that live in his jurisdiction.
When you look at the hospital, the schools, all the businesses, doctors' offices, where people who do not live here influx during the daytime, that gives us a great boost in our population. So when people look at calls for service, they say, well, that's an awful lot of calls for this many people living here. Well, no, we really sometimes may almost could probably 25–30% increase our population just by the change of the clock.
Chief Harvey also credits the advancement of technology as a contributing factor to consistently rising calls.
And all of these other social media outlets were basically unheard of. So these things have added to a lot of these calls for service. We're doing a lot of non-traditional responses for calls for services that are not the typical, burglary, theft, assault.
EMS dispatches were also the highest since 2007. Ephrata Ambulance President Les Marcel believes the drug crisis plays a huge part in the numbers increase.
Obviously, if our numbers are down, but drug overdoses are even to the prior year, that in itself is an increase. The perception here is we had higher overdose numbers earlier in the year last year, and they kind of tailored toward the end of the year to a lower number.
Marcel also says with the increase of calls come an increase in Narcan use, which means more dangerous situations for EMS workers.
Some of our EMTs here at Ephrata, I know a bunch of EMTs around the county, are now wearing ballistic armor, such as a police officer might wear. Not so much that we're afraid we're going to be shot, but maybe kicked, punched, stabbed, bitten, something along that line, because they can act out after the Narcan administration.
Now, Marcel also said the increased use of fentanyl is forcing EMS workers to take precautions like doubling up on gloves to prevent skin absorption, which can lead to cardiac arrest. Reporting live in studio, I'm Jumbophone. Sam, back to you.